Oh, they can expect an absolutely phenomenal episode of Inside the Box, the TV History podcast. It is on which disc of the latest Green Acres complete series from Shout Factory?
So our commentary plays over the final episode of the series, and viewers can either select to have the commentary on or off when they watch the episode. But it's not even particularly about Green Acres. It's about what happened to Green Acres at CBS during the Rural Purge, when every rural show on the network was cut down in its prime to make way for more socially aware political programming.
Well, and what's crazy is you start with the idea of you have a set of top-rated shows on network television garnering millions of viewers. What's the last choice you would make? You cancel them all. That's insane, and that's what we were talking about with this idea of a rural purge.
Yep, but it looks to be a stroke of genius, because you get shows like All in the Family, Mary Tyler Moore, MASH, that all became really top-rated hits.
Right.
And so we look back and saying this was a really great move for CBS, but at the time...
Totally counterintuitive.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. My favorite part was it was already a completed episode that we did. It's episode number 6 from our podcast, which we've done a little over 70 episodes. And the fun part was when Shout Factory reached out to us, we really had to go back and revisit something that we hadn't really thought about in a few years. And so Steve actually spent a lot of time re-editing down the episode and changing it around so that it actually syncs up perfectly with the final episode of the series. And so you can actually watch it along perfectly, and it was just a joy to revisit that process.
Yeah, we recorded some new material mixed in with some of the older research that we did. I think what's nice about it is that our research is finding an audience in an applicable way to understanding what happened to their favorite TV show. So if you buy the box set, you're probably enjoying Green Acres, and you probably want to know, why is there no real final episode to the series? And so hopefully we're bringing some closure to viewers.
And also, just because you're thinking about things you're watching doesn't mean that's a bad idea, right? We want, yes, it's a silly show. Yes, it was sort of a goofy 60s show. It's what is it, Arnold the Pig or whatever, like this ridiculous stuff. But you can actually still think about it in a critical way, and I think that's what the commentary track really adds to the episode.
Yeah. So we are a podcast dedicated to taking a critical and somewhat humorous perspective into 20th century television. So what was happening in the landscape, everything from the technology to the people behind the scenes to the content that viewers enjoyed at home, and hopefully shedding some new light on material that maybe is not as widely known. So
yeah, we've had a really wide range of topics and also guests. So it's anything from interviewing the first authorized biographer of Jim Henson, Brian J. Jones. He came on. It's also one of the most famous FCC commissioners ever, and he's still with us, thank God, Newton Minow, who famously, if you read in your textbooks, said to all the networks, "What you've created serves as a vast wasteland," right? We had him on, and he just delighted us with stories about his career, and especially like what it was to actually work with President Kennedy. I mean, it was just amazing stuff. But then we've also done very silly episodes like what are your favorite theme songs? Or we looked at some crazy holiday specials that make no sense whatsoever. And so we always sort of try to educate with the podcast, but we also have a lot of fun doing it. So it's applying that sort of academic critical theory, but then also sort of letting our hair down, so to speak, and having some fun with. Not that we either of us really can do that. I
don't have any hair to let down.
Yeah, but it's sort of a mixture of both. Yeah.
You received the email, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, they offered millions upon millions of dollars. No, they didn't. But what happened was is Shout Factory these days, working within media, is they're creating old media, but they know they need to incorporate new media, and podcasting is certainly new media. So their folks did a search for relevant content. They happened upon episode 6 of Inside the Box, TV History Podcast, and they said, would you really be interested in recutting this down and having it included in the DVD box set? And honestly, for some of our demographics, some of our viewers, still receiving DVD box sets, I thought was perfect, for sure. Now, some of our younger viewers, why do they want DVD box sets? Honestly, I don't know. But it's still a very big seller for certain demographics. So they reached out to us. It was relatively easy back and forth, I think, with their coordinating producer. And I think it only took maybe a month tops to really get everything kind of together. And it's good because I'm not sure when this is going up, but this DVD box set just came out for the holidays. So, cheap plug here. If you have a TV history fanatic in your life that really wants this box set, it is available. So please go grab it. And again, our episode is included on it. Yeah.
So it's
a lot.
Yeah. So I watched Green Acres growing up on Nick at Night. So for those of you that may remember basic cable, Green Acres ran reruns on Nick at Night, and I was able to watch it as a kid. So I had a fond memory of the show, I would say, when we went into this project.
This is a '60s show that was already nostalgic in the '80s when you were watching it,
Yep.
And then we're still sort of nostalgic for it. So it's light fare. I mean, everything is pretty much told from the goofy theme song, and you guys can always add or cut in the theme song to this video, right? But it's about this affluent city couple coming out to the country, and it's that classic fish out of the water situation, and that's where supposedly the comedy comes from. But it's just so kind of bizarre. But hey, we're happy to be a part of it.
It's a reverse of Beverly Hillbillies, if you're familiar with that. The Beverly Hillbillies are
Or
fish
at
out of
least
water
the movie,
from
the movies from the '90s.
Yeah, or the TV show too in the '60s.
No, I know, but they're not going
Oh,
to. But yeah, it is the inverse of Beverly Hillbillies for sure.